Shalom family, this is Grammy Yah. I am out here getting ready to prune my basil plant. So let me show you, well, one of my basil plants. Let me show you what I do once they have, excuse me, once they have grown up. It's this basil, it smells so good. What I usually do, you see how tall that, it's getting. I don't want really tall basil. I want my basil to bush out. And so what I do is, you see this main stem right here? The main stem run all the way up. Okay? This main stem runs all the way up. All right, so what I'm going to do, I will cut my basil right here. I'm just cutting the main stem. And by cutting the main stem right here, this is something that you don't have to do. This is what I do to get a more bushier basil plant. So right there, I will cut it. All right, so now that it is cut, it's going to take their energy outward. And so now this basil plant will become more bushier than taller. And what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to go through and just pluck off the larger leaves. All right, and you can just use your shears, or you can just use your fingernail. See, what I do is just take my fingernail and just pop it right there. And I am harvesting basil today. All right, here you go after I harvest my basil. I didn't want to take too much off because I still have these broccoli plants here, and they're supposed to deter the pests. So I didn't want to take as much off as I usually do when they are just by themselves. Let me show you one that I've already stripped that is by itself. All right, I came over here so you can see. You see how I stripped this basil plant? The more you harvest, the more you get, family. And these all came from seeds this year. All right, family, I am in the house. I have a cookie sheet. Look at all this basil that I was able to harvest today. And when you harvest your basil, it's been about a couple of hours since I've harvested them. So they are getting a little limpy. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to spread my basil on my pan. I will be using several pans because this is a lot of basil. Any type of large stems, I just usually take my fingernail and just pop it off, and you will notice your fingernail will have like a stain. Don't worry, it'll come off in about a week. But anyway, it takes a little while because I think I don't know. I scrub and scrub and scrub. It'll be off in about a couple of days, not unless you just cut your fingernail. But it's not going to hurt anything. Your hands are still clean. So just lay this basil here. I'm going to get another pan. If you have a dehydrator, you can dehydrate your basil. But if you don't, you can put it in the oven. So today, I will be putting mine in the oven because I've noticed that the oven dehydrates it much quicker. Yes, I have my oven on 170. That is the lowest setting that my stove gives me. So, and it usually will take about an hour. So what I'll do is I will put these in the oven and I will let these dehydrate, and I'll bring you back in about an hour. And also I want to show you my cilantro that I harvested. They are a little wilty or limpy because I've had them pulled off the plant for probably a couple of hours. So look, this is a lot of cilantro, you guys. So I probably will make some type of cilantro lime rice tonight or something. But that is a lot. I wonder how much that will cost in the store. I wonder how much all this basil will cost in the store. All right, enough said. I'm just going to put these rest on the pan and dehydrate them. It shouldn't take, like I said, no more than an hour, and I'll bring you back so we can go to the next step. All right, family, like I said, it took about an hour. So what I'm going to do is combine all my basil. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just put my basil into a sandwich bag. All right. And once I put it in the sandwich bag, I'm going to close it up. Now I'm going to crunch it up. Let me let some of this air out of this bag. Yeah. And you just crunch it up. And this is your basil, for your basil seasoning, for your spaghetti, your pesto, or whatever you use basil for. What you can do, if you want basil powder, you can just put it in your Ninja and just have basil powder. And so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a jar, an empty jar. So whenever you empty out your seasonings, keep the jar. So I'm going to take this little tag and I'm going to write basil on it. Okay? And I'm going to cover up this label, basil. And what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to take this basil and pour it into this bottle. It's just that easy. And what I'll do, I will continue on crushing this up. Look at that. Look at the basil. And I'll come back and let you see how much I got from this basil. This is a 7.5 ounce jar. And I'm going to let you know how much I got out of my plants of basil, you guys. But let me just tell you some of the health benefits of basil. I just wrote a few down. It's an antifungal and antibacterial herb. It helps reduces acne and brightens and refresh dull skin. It has vitamin A, C, K, magnesium, potassium, and iron. So this is a very beneficial herb. So what I would do, I would make a basil oil out of it, and it will be good for your hair and your skin. And if you want to know how to do that, I'll leave the link to my mint oil video in the description box, because you do it the same way. You do most herbs the same way. So if you want basil oil, and then look it up, you guys, it's so many health benefits for basil. Who knew? So let me finish crunching this up. crunch. And I'll bring you back once my bottle is full so we can see exactly how much I was able to get. Here we go, you guys. Look how much basil I was able to get. And do you know you can make basil tea? Yes, you can make basil tea. You can either buy the tea bags and just put your basil in there, or you can make the tea and strain the basil flakes through the strainer, and you can make basil tea because of all the great health benefits, you guys. Yes, so do not sleep on basil. And when you do dehydrate it in the oven, your whole house is going to smell so, so delicious. Matter of fact, my husband came in and he was like, hey, babe, what you cooking? I said, nothing. I wasn't. I was just dehydrating the basil. So it's going to make your house smell so good. So you guys, I can leave the tea bags, where you can fill the tea bags with your basil and drink the basil tea. So many health benefits. Please look it up, you guys. And I'll leave all that stuff in the description box, my mint oil video, but substitute the mint for the basil. Oh, my word. Don't sleep on basil, because I think it is called the Holy Grail or something like that. I know it's called Holy Basil. So, yes. So if you like this video, and I pray that you did, and I pray that you got something from it, don't sleep on basil. Don't let that basil get away. Harvest that basil. Like I said, you can use a dehydrator, which I do have a dehydrator, but me personally, I find it very, very quicker and simpler just to toss it in the oven for about an hour. All right, family? And I hope you liked this video. And if you did, please hit like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. I love you guys. Y'all know I do. But guess what? I love the Most High more. Shalom.